Hello, and welcome to RGL-Newcomer Grand Finals, live here on teamfortress.tv at twitch.tv as well. I'm Virgil, casting here today with the boy Dirtman107 and Booster200 on production. How you doing, Dirtman?
I'm still losing my mind a little bit, kind of just excited and nervous to be here, but I'm doing pretty well.
That's good. Excited for this match tonight?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Probably nervous is the best emotion to describe how I feel right now, but this is gonna be a
Yeah,
good one. These are two pretty strong teams.
yeah, I mean, I can't comment much on minus rep, but I mean, just the fact that they've made it to RGL Newcomer Grand Finals is always a very telling thing in its own right. But I can comment on the boys on RGL on Ice. They're my they're I will disclose already. I'm a bit biased in this cast. They're my newbie mix team. Excited to see them and all the effort that they into the game get them into the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, just making it to the finals of anything, definitely, like you had said, very telling of the teams. Actually been watching and casting Newcomer on my own Twitch channel since season 2. So I guess I have a little more insight to both of these teams. I'd also covered the semifinal matches for both of them. So
Yes, and since you're mentioning that, I'm curious. Do you have any thoughts on this matchup? Do you have any predictions you want to talk about? I see we're gathering a lot of players in the server as we speak. We have 10 on the STV right now. So any give me the rundown, Dirt Man. Let's hear it.
so obviously, like you had said, both of these teams are going to be very strong. So I'm sure we're going to have a good and fairly even matchup. If I'd have to give one team advantage, though, just from what I had seen in specifically the semifinals, and I know these are different maps, but I'd have to say RGL Ice is probably going to take the match. They definitely have a very good lineup.
Yeah, just let's actually go down that lineup as we speak. You mind if I take RGL on Ice's lineup?
Go for it.
All
A team,
right,
after all.
perfect. Yeah, so on scouts, we've got Rose and Ragu. I believe we have Ragu on combo scout and Rose on flank scout. I know they've swapped those roles up a couple times, but I'm pretty sure that's what they have right now. For pocket soldier, we have squared, roaming soldier. We have Court, Yosemite on demo, and Aru on medic.
For minus rep in our scouts, we have both Swag and Lechuga on scouts. Um, I can't remember off the top of my head about the specific positionings of them, but moving on. Thank you, Looster. And then for soldiers, we have TC Mono on Roamer and Omar XB on the Pocket Soldier with MTR on Demo and Enter the Frog on Medic.
Yes, sir. I am very excited to see this match. For our maps tonight, we're going to be starting off with minus reps pick. They are the higher seed team coming in, and for their map, they selected Sunshine. Any thoughts on these teams on this specific map?
Something we had kind of seen with minus rep in the semifinals is they struggled on last pushes a little bit just because of how closed in the points were. They would find themselves funneling in and kind of just getting spammed out. Sunshine, it has a much wider open last point, so hopefully they won't have as much trouble there. I can't really speak with RGL and Ice on Sunshine. I don't really think I've seen a whole lot from them on that map specifically.
Yeah, I mean, just from observing their scrims and stuff, I know that I think they feel pretty alright on the mids, but when it comes to last fights, that's kind of where they struggle with. Taking last is kind of tricky on Sunshine. I think the openness of it and the availability it has for rotations makes it a one of the easier last points to hold. You have a lot of freedom to rotate through spawn because spawn is just located so close to the point, and it's relatively easy for your explosive classes to jump out of spawn. So getting spawn lockdown for the attacking team is a very important thing to do. So if either team is able to lock down those spawn doors when they push into last, that'll be a really great advantage for them. That's something I'm going to be looking to see from both teams tonight to kind of figure out who might be who might have the stronger edge here. Yeah, I mean, in terms of match predictions, what do you think the map score for Sunshine is going to be?
Obviously, I want to say it's going to be very easy, or not very easy, very even. Just because of the kind of hopefully evenness of the teams we have here, considering they've both made it this far. Um, I want to say maybe 5-4 or 5-3 in favor of minus rep.
Mm-hmm. I I think this is going to be an even match, and I feel Sunshine is one of those maps where when it's an even match, it can get very stalematey.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna say 4-3 for minus rep, I think, on Sunshine. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my prediction. I know just how slow this map can be because of how large it is as well, and how stalematy the points can be. I feel like it might be a map that can be a little tricky to get all 5 points on if it slows down at any point. Uh, yeah. What about Clear Cut? Any thoughts on Clear Cut, which will be our second map?
In the semifinals, and I can actually bring that up now. RGL and Ice, they went up against College War Crimes, and one of the maps they had played was Clear Cut, which is our second map, and they did extremely well on it. Obviously, yeah, it is their map pick. They did very, very well on it. I believe they beat College War Crimes 4-1. It From what I've seen, it definitely favors their players quite a bit with the DM and just with the kind of play style of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think RGL Nice is going to take it. I'm not sure how decisive it's going to be. Maybe 4-2, let's say.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say so. Working in RGL and Ice's favor, again, I can only really comment on that team. I know their soldiers are very talented players. I think D squared is ranked number one in kills in the div actually, and for soldier class. And I know Court has really strong mechanics, and that map is very rewarding to soldiers with good mechanics. I feel like that may give them a very strong edge as they go into clear cut. So I think I'm also going to say I'm going to say 4-1 for RGL and Ice on clear cut.
Okay. Looking back a little bit, week 3 was the clear week. Minus Rep did win 4-1 as well, so they obviously do know the map. But in terms of official matches, they have not played it since then, so not as confident as RGL and Ice might be.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do have all 12 in the server, so we should be looking to start up anytime soon. So before we get going, are there any closing thoughts, Dirtman?
Other than just this is bound to be a good match. Hoping we see a map 3. And with it being Metalworks, I have no idea which way that's going to go.
Well, I think for Metalworks, my thought again is it's very rewarding to soldiers. I'd probably give Metalworks in favor of RGL and Ice as well. I'm not too sure what this one would be, but I'm going to say RGL and Ice takes Metalworks if they go there. Either way, we've both teams readied up, and we are now going live with the finals of RGL-Newcomer Season 4. We're seeing both teams roll out to mid. The demos arriving about the same time, I believe, as spam's getting exchanged. We see somebody taking a sticky very early on as they begin to take their left side Tetris. But it looks like both teams are actually staying on the blue Tetris as the soldiers been trying to get some good spam. Court goes down early as a result. The medic rotates away and Yosemite gets caught out. Oh, we see the entirety of RGL Nice actually getting caught in the corner of Tetris. Scouts are trying to get their medic out. Aru barely makes it into the valley actually as he's continuing to run with this team. Soldier chasing, hot on their heels, but Aru is completely out with this scout Ragu, and it looks like the medic's going to be living. Strong showing coming up from minus rep the gates, getting the entirety of RGL Knights minus the scout and medic. That was a really great mid from minus rep, I gotta say. They met on the Tetris, took that high ground, and they did it fast.
Yeah, it seemed like RGL and Ice had gotten a little bit separated there in that mid. Just essentially minus rep being able to do a good job and isolate the combo and the flank.
Yeah, especially the soldier aggression coming out from minus rep. Getting both their soldiers on the high ground between Bell Tower and Tetris them such a great vantage point, especially with RGL and I sitting next to their own cafe. They had to rotate out there, and it looked like Yosemite just wasn't fast enough in that rotation, and he ended up getting caught out. It was a miracle, I will say, that Aru and Dragu were able to make it out, because it does make sure that there are even Ubers on this last point, meaning that it's not going to be a quick roll from minus rep.
Yeah, which we're seeing right here is we're kind of stalemating in lobby a little bit. Although not a whole lot of presence from minus rep in lobby, although we do have a sack coming in on this right side, which is going to get quickly dispatched by Ragu. Definitely a good shot from him to kind of protect his medic. Maybe the opportunity to actually see RGL and Ice try and push out of lobby here, but it can prove to be a little bit difficult, especially with sticky trap set up. Definitely don't want to overextend with these kind of pushes on last. It can be very risky.
Yeah, it looks like Core is kind of looking for a way to get in, but I don't think they're going to find one. As he said, stickies on Shutter make that a little bit difficult, and by now the spawners are up on side of minus rep. So that's going to be the time no counter stack coming up from RGL Nice immediately. However, they do have Ragu on Sniper, as he's looking for an angle onto the medic. He actually gets a pretty deep peek onto through bats, trying to see if he can spot anyone. He does spot the Demo, but I think he misses the shot. Now he's just gonna have to back up. The spam comes in again from minus rep. Yeah, I think minus rep should start taking lobby here soon. No off classes coming out of them just yet. They're just sitting with the standard 2 scouts, 2 soldiers loadout. As their soldiers begin to bomb towards bat, they manage to catch out the sniper. Good bomb from TC Mono, meaning that that's actually gonna put them at a 1-player advantage. I'm gonna be curious as to what they do here. It looks like TC Mono is trying to peek through dungeon. And as he commits through dungeon with a high bomb up, he does leave the jump a little bit, getting spammed out. Now he tries to salvage onto the flank players, but nice try from him. He did have a good bit of space there, but sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to jump off of with how it overextends a little from the. We're gonna have to see if RG Nice goes for the counter sack yet again. Looks like Ragu's not going to swap off on Sniper just yet, as Court peeks in the lobby with the help of his flank scout Rose.
That sniper pick was really important because it allowed them, minus rep, to actually kind of move around a little bit and retake a little presence in lobby. As we're seeing now, that presence didn't really last very long, as RGL and Ice has kind of retaken lobby again and forced those player back after, I believe, a failed sack wave.
Yeah. I will say we do have snipers on both teams, with the Ragu once again sniping for RGL and Ice, and then Bofo swag on on minus rep.
Both in a good position on this shutter here. He had very nearly had a shot onto one of the scouts. Unfortunately, he did not manage to make that shot connect. Although he does make the shot connect onto Ragu, which is going to be good for them.
Yeah, this does put RGL and Nice in a bit of a precarious situation, being down the sniper and down a scout class, really. They're a little bit vulnerable to soldier sacks right now. We're going to have to see how they how minus rep that is, elects to take this. They're probably going to deep peek their sniper through somewhere, or they may elect to go in for a push. It's like Bopa is just trying to peek on that left side of lobby. He gets spammed out, though, and is now rotating to the top right. I think he will have a shot on Aru if he peeks this deep, but it looks like he's just electing to play cautiously for now.
We did see TC getting a little bit aggressive on that right side of lobby, but he didn't really try and go for anything. With the sniper in dungeon right now, he could maybe try and get a shot, although TC could possibly get in, maybe try for another sack wave.
Yeah, we actually do see both with that dungeon pink getting a body shot onto Rose. It's going to be another scout down for RGL Nice. Ragu is alive, however, but we're going to have to see what exactly minus rep wants to do with this. They may just continue to deep peek their sniper, as Bofa is going for that top right. Cord actually goes down to TC Mono on the flank. That's going to be a 2-player ad for minus rep right now as they begin to push their heels in through the left side. They have their sniper peeking from dungeon. He has an angle onto Aru right now. Rose goes down again to one of the respawners. However, Bofo does get picked off by D-Squared as he bombs dungeon to take care of it. The Uber comes out from Aru as now they're trying to collapse on this player's left side. Good bomb from D-Squared again to get some nice damage, just fully step them out on the left side. However, now they have to contend with soldiers bombing and them getting on the point. However, the soldiers end up getting taken out, meaning that there's not going to be enough cap time, and the rest of the team on minus rep is completely out the second. Only 3 up as Regu continues to push them out.
Ender the Frog and MT are just being the last ones alive here, trying to get out with their lives and kind of conserve that 40% Uber. Luckily for them, they do manage to make it out through Cafe, just barely though, as the players of RGL and Ice are hot on their tails. Now we're stalemating once again, but this time it's not with Lobby, it's with Choke and Valley. Both teams are fairly even with Uber, although RGL and Ice does have about a 10% ad. Not really all that functional. They could maybe try and make use of it, but with the sticky traps from MTR and just the placement of the players from minus rep, they're not really leaving any glaring holes open in the defense there.
Yeah, I will say I kind of expect once the sacks come out. Wait. Oh no.
It looks like
Ender the Frog. He accidentally used his Uber.
Bumped his Uber.
Oh, but does RGL and Ice know this? Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, looks like RGL and Ice may have noticed the fact that they did that. They're kind of positioning their heels a little bit far forward, and the entirety of minus rep is playing very passive. Oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think it's very.
I don't know what RGL and Ice realized.
I think they're starting to take note. They're getting their heels rather aggressive. They drop Ragu, but traded out for TC Mono. I wonder if they're going to continue staying aggressive as they bring their demo man towards Valley. They actually used Uber, so I guess they did make the assumption that they must have had Uber ad. We see actually Yosemite with a big bomb catching out the demo. He's not having to fight a scout, but he begins to back up. Enter the Frog just now coming on his Uber again. Their RGL Ice is very close now. They have to get out. We see Rue linking up with a scout and Rose as he begins to back up towards his own cafe. Yosemite down, both demos down actually on both teams as the soldiers bomb towards Choke. Cork going down to his scout, but being traded out for Omar next speed. D-Squared recommitting, trying to get whatever he can. He's going to be taken down by Bofa again. And that's a 3-player ad. Well, really functionally too, because Omar did go down and all that. 4 minus rep as Rue now sits on his own second point building with his scout Ragu.
With the amount of player advantage minus rep has right now, it seems like that possible misclick may have actually been calculated and work into their favor, as the next Uber exchange, with how efficiently they were building, were able to take it very definitively, and it looks like they are going to get second off of that. Was it a misplay or is it a big brain play? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I will say it's not really something you expect the other team to accidentally pop Uber. So it could be one of those things where you may not feel completely confident in pushing off of just because you aren't completely sure you had that Uber ad there. They don't get the free spectator cam like we do, but that's alright. It's even Ubers yet again on RGL and Ice's last. As Ragu starts peeking, I think we do hear a headshot ring off onto a soldier.
I do believe we did.
Yeah, Omar getting headshot has to leave lobby as Ragu continues to try and deep peek. He's rotating and now watching that lower right side of lobby.
You see us kind of dealing with death here in lobby, and he is going to go down to a body shot from Ragu. He was under 150 HP, so that would have been a fully charged body shot. Looks like Bofa's going into lobby. That sniper does get caught out, but Omar is going to go down to D-Squared after and getting another pick onto Bofa as well. That's going to put RGL and Ice in a really good position to retake second.
Yeah, we see Rose actually overextending. She tried to chase a scout there, but ends up meeting the demo as well. Gets taken down either way, but that's alright. I think that may actually give minus rep a chance to sack here. We're just going to have to wait and see. The demo's pressuring Cafe pretty hard, drawing a lot of eyes. As the soldier bombs in through Choke, he bombs the Roamer on Valley. The Roamer hitting a nice shot there. I think that was Court that hit that shot on Omar as he bombed him.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, nice shot to deny Omar right there. As we actually see, oh man, big pipes coming out from Yosemite. He drops the medic as well as taking down a scout. That's going to be a free mid take. Also see MTR cratering after trying to jump out on his own. That's 4 people down on the side of minus rep. The med just came up. They got their respawners, but now they're sitting at full disat. Great pipes from Yosemite. That's some huge work coming up from him.
Yeah, I definitely noticed previously, especially in the semifinals, Yosemite can go big with those pipes and stickies, and Court especially, those rockets are almost second to none in Newcomer.
Yeah, they actually, we see both soldiers stacking in on Aru. He ends up not popping the Uber. First soldier, he was able to surf the rocket. Second one came out of Forts just a smidge too late. Omar talking about lagging in chat. This is pretty rough for him. As they begin to take their full Uber on to last. It's only about 50%, but now they just have to clean up the heavy. And clean up the heavy, it looks like they're trying to do. Heavy going down. They're now collapsing on Yosemite. They jump away, having to block the points. Ragu's now just getting into the fight, trying to clean up whatever damage he can. They're focusing the soldier damage to a little split. Yosemite now is the last one on cap. No, he's fighting the medic. The medic got 2 saws, but he ends up going down last second to Aru, in fact. But that's getting a few nice little picks there. That's going to be the first round on CP Sunshine.
Coming down right to the wire, just a 1v1 to end that round.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting stuff.
That heavy was definitely able to soak up a ton of damage and kind of delay them a little bit, especially that pyro coming in as well. As we get on to the second mid here, it looks like Minus Rep is taking the early high ground, which has shown to be good for them in the last round as well. They were able to get that. Unfortunately, they do drop Omar and TC. That's not going to be good. Both of their soldiers are dead. And just 4 players left alive, although players are even right now. They are being pressured, and the medic is going to go down for the side of Minus Rep from Ragu. These players trying to fight it out. MTR and Choke. One of the scouts going in a little bit. Both scouts actually trying to go in and get onto this medic. Arrow is going to go down as well. With MTR in this last scout, Lechuga just cleaning up, or at least attempting to clean up roads. Are going to see a very extended mid fight, but Minus Rep coming out on top in the end.
Yeah, that was pretty close from both teams. We saw both soldiers going down relatively early, and then it just became a fight, like a pretty scrappy fight after Ender the Frog went down on Minus Rep. I believe they played pretty close to that bell tower area. So RGL wasn't able to protect Aru entirely and ended up losing the rest of their players. Huge plays coming up from Lechuga there in order to secure all of those cleanup frags. We obviously can't discount the damage done by Bofa and MTR, of course, but really good teamwork from them to get the focus fire down and clean up players as they needed to. Because now we're going to be seeing Uberad for Aru, actually, sitting at 20% ad. He's not on crits, interestingly enough. I just don't think anyone met with Enter the Frog on his spawn wave, because he did have those 3 players still fighting on mid. And it's going to be evening out, most likely. Yeah, I don't think RGL knows they have that 20% ad. Yeah, they're just going to be stabilizing yet again on RGL-Nice's second.
We did see TC Mono get a little bit cheeky and choke there, trying to maybe see an opening. He was standing right on a sticky and decided not to go for anything. But as I say that, it looks like he did try to go for a sack there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get in. D-Square does go down to a pipe from MTR. I believe over the top of that fence. They're definitely a good shot from him. Bofa is going to be coming in on this valley side.
Shots onto TC Mono. He bombs in and just gets absolutely rolled by the explosive class. I think he got piped into a rocket. Oh, that was rough.
That would not surprise me coming out from Yosemite. He's definitely shown to be a very strong demo. Although they are getting pushed back through lobby by this Uber that I think may have been forced or just coming out from a push. They did also get the 2-player advantage, getting Court and Rose down. As those other players come in and the Uber comes in from Arrow, they're going to send the players of Minus Rep heading for the hills through Cafe, and Ender the Frog very narrowly dying, I think getting down to about 40 HP.
Yeah, no frags end up getting exchanged, but RGL is able to retake their own second point after that. What was almost an exchange, it seemed. I think they may have wanted to block point with their Uber, but we're just a smidge slow on that decision. Ragu finds a scout pick deep in Cafe, I believe that was, as now they're bringing their heals into Cafe, seeing what other space they can get off of that 1-player pick. They actually see Court get in deep on the medic, and he finds Ender the Frog. The Cafe play was just a distraction, as D-Square also finds Lechuga. Now they're having to sell for the med. Aru with a great serve to his own Cafe. He's trying to relink up with his team, but it looks like, yeah, he doesn't have too much to fear right now. It seems that, who is that? TC Mono. Ooh, a really great rocket from D-Square to protect his medic.
That was a good shot there.
Yeah.
In the back lines on that second cap, it was actually really good that they had, RGL had capped when they did. Because we actually had, I believe it was Bofaswag, all the way on last, duking it out with one of the other scouts that had just spawned. Had that cap not come in when it did, they probably would have gotten the back cap in favor of minus rep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was good work coming out from them, and to get all of that done is that made a lot of work. They made a lot of like space for them to do what they needed to. They are taking in their Uber top right. They end up dropping their scout early. Now it's a matter of taking down the heavy, and they have a gun sticking to themselves. They get the heavy. However, I don't think they're going to be able to get much else with the Uber. We're trying to leave right now, having to contend with the soldier in order to do so. A lot of players on RGL on Ice are going down. D Squared and Aru are the only survivors. Aru is completely out. I'm not sure where D Squared is, but no, he's still on mid. He's still in the second, rather, just trying to jump out. It looks like he's going to be able to make it out as Enter the Frog is coming in on his own Uber as we speak. It's going to be big Uber ad for minus rep as they begin to set up their push into middle.
Yeah, in that last push, Court kind of got stuck jiggle peeking that sentry gun, and really being able to keep that up is, I think, what helped minus rep to actually hold off that push. Like I said, Court got stuck jiggle peeking that sentry gun over by the toxic barrels, and then just getting cleaned up. Unfortunately, he did end up trading with Omar coming out of that, but still. We do have an Uber coming in for minus rep here on mid. They are going to get mid off of that, sending the RGL on Ice back out to second. Although it looks like they want to reaggress through lobby with an Uber of their own. Although they are a player down, Court unfortunately dying early. TC Mono is very low as well. Omar again low as well. And it looks like that counter pop is going to be coming out and gaining them the mid.
Yeah, they actually never were able, minus rep was never able to swap the point. They did get pretty close, but they weren't able to completely convert it, as the entirety of RGLs was actually flooding into Choke. They find Ender the Frog, MTR, and Lechuga. That's going to be 3 down, 3 really important combo classes. TC Manu, who was behind, also ends up getting taken down. Bopa, however, actually manages to get on the mid. He finds Court, but he's not going to be able to do anything from there, as they actually begin to cap the last point. That's going to be a second round for RGL on Ice.
That's really unfortunate.
That was such quick play from RGL. Yeah, that was really good capitalization from RGL on Ice as well. They recognized that they had player out from the fact that there were 2 people behind, and they capitalized. We see both of them as, again, arriving to mid, I think, trying to exchange some stickies, and here having a bit worse health. Each team begins to rotate towards their opposite team's Tetris. They're both rotating fast. RGL on Ice actually already being in front of the other team's Cafe. We see Court bombing forward. He's able to find much before getting taken down. GC also going down to a bomb from Omar. Rose going down as well to get that same bomb from Omar, not able to secure that pick. As now we're going to have to see how Aru and co try and make it out of this mid. He's rotating with Ragu right now, ends up surfing a sticky all the way to his choke as he's trying to leave the mid fight. He ends up going down, however, to the pipe spin from MTR. Ragu also going down to see if Yosemite's going to do anything, but no, he's already backed out, deciding his life is worth more. And now he's trying to see what he can get done. He's bombing the medic. We have to see if he can hit in damage. He's one good onto the medic, isn't able to secure the rest. Really great attempt coming out from Yosemite, trying to get that med pick after he realizes he was caught.
Kind of unfortunate to see that little bit of disconnection with those players trying to leave. Not only did they kind of start off on the wrong side of mid, both the medic and the scout left a different way than the demo did. But we're coming on to last here. The Uber coming in from minus rep. That sentry gun is going to get dispatched very quickly here. Before, but they are down 3 players, 4 players now with MTR dying to Court. The medic now dying again to Court, coming in with a good bomb onto Ender the Frog, and it's just going to be Lechuga left alive, who is going to get quickly dispatched by, again, Court. Although this time with a little bit of help from Rose, and they're going to get second off that wipe as well.
Yeah, Court had a pretty big play when the Uber came in. He wrapped all the way behind in lobby and was able to collapse on the combo as they tried to back up. It was pretty good play from him. He recognized the flank. 2 people actually went down immediately. I think it was 2 combo members from minus rep went down. So he was able to make that flank play work. RGL Knowledge now moving through Valley as they come in on their Uber, just peeking to see what they can get through with on Valley. They're getting stickied off by the demo, so hard to see if they end up wanting to use. It looks like they're taking it slow, however. We do see the soldiers fighting in Cap. Court going down to 41 with Omar trying to escape for his life. Only sitting at 80 health, he's going to be able to make it out. And Aru ended up not using that Uber, so they're going to be able to take this Uber second if they so please. It looks like they're setting up near choke to see what they can get done. You see somebody rotating to meet his heels. They may actually want to take a bomb here. That, or they may actually think it's even and let it even out, as Under the Fog is coming in on his own Uber very shortly. No, it looks like they might want to take it. Yeah, they actually sit their medic pretty deep in choke and get bombed as a result. They may just trade D-squared for Omar, as Blue Uber now needs to starting to leave. Uber gets juggled on how Gutski's coming out from MTR. He's going to catch the medic. See how the collapse comes in for RGL and Ice. It looks like Rose is trying to do whatever she could and isn't going to be able to find anything. However, Ragu hiding in the corner as the demo bombs through and the scout run through as well. We do see actually Ragu committing a medic right now. He gets one good shot. Gonna see if he can get anything else. Getting the medic really low. The medic is sitting at 8 health. That's so unfortunate.
Yosemite is also coming through Red Cafe, though, who is going to get Ender the Frog. I think he hit a taunt there as well. You kind of have to, just coming in from behind. He actually, I think he got disconnected in that last fight on second and kind of just decided to run, grab a health pack, and then loop around afterwards to see what he could get. Kind of being forgotten about a little bit by minus rep and not cleaned up.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, if it's really great he was able to catch up the medic in Cafe there. Yeah, and it was just kind of goofy. He was behind for a really long time, wasn't able to do much until then. Either way, we have RGL and Ice coming in on their own Uber. Again, they want to try and take it through Valley. They have a soldier bombing onto their medic. He ends up getting a head rocket. Nice shot from Omar, as that's going to be the force from Aru. They're going to see if they can catch anything else, but only Ragu ends up going down to a sticky trap. And there is a soldier behind. TC Mono is sitting in choke, and RGL and Ice is aware of this. Yeah, we have people looking behind, waiting for that recollapse from TC Mana, but all he's doing right now is grabbing pal packs. Because the Frog is coming in on his own Uber, but it looks like RGL and Ice may want to do something forward. We're still kind of keeping an eye out for Omar behind, but yeah, it doesn't look like much is going to be happening, as TC Mana, rather, is just looking at Ragu, who's sitting at spawn. Ragu just spamming him from a distance, going to eat a couple rockets in exchange, but keeping an eye on that soldier's worth it as it kind of helps his medic get out. And we do see a really good bomb coming in from the soldier as he manages to collapse on the team as they get right out through choke, but isn't going to get enough damage onto Aru, as Aru is now just trying to run for his life as the Uber comes in through the choke. We see the Uber running forward, we see Aru escaping rather through Shutter as the red Uber ends on platform, but they haven't capped mid yet. They're not going to be able to do much with this positioning as we see a couple things happening. First of all, they're going to have to sticky off forward to ensure that Aru's spawn is going to be denied, and exactly that's what will happen. Blue Uber, however, is not keeping Shutter. Oh, he was behind too?
Yeah, Yosemite got all the way up through Valley and was trying to look for it. Omar did, I guess, see him and bomb in onto him. Looks like MTR is going to get pickaxed by D-Squared, who is then going to go down to Omar. Just trying to save his medic right here from one of the scouts. Lechuk, actually both the scouts. The Uber is going to get forced, and that's just going to cause them to run back to last now. With 3 players up on this second, mid now been capped. Second as well. Bofa looks like he's looking for blood, trying to clear these stickies for his team so they can get into lobby. Being pretty much uncontested right now. They don't have any advantage. In fact, they have a slight disad, so I'm not sure what they're going to do here. They're probably not really going to be able to contest lobby a whole lot.
Yeah, I will say, being down 2 rounds right now, they're going to have to make something happen. Only 6 minutes left in this half. I'm going to be curious to see what they're able to pull here, as the Ubers are pretty much evening out here. It doesn't look like Aru is too concerned about building. Them getting the force on Aru there was super important. He no longer has that flat that can be so threatening. Instead, they're actually kind of getting at themselves. Enter the Frog sitting at about 10% ad, and slowly building as they continue to build the Uber themselves. By the way, there is a gun and heavy to contend with from RGL on Ice, which would make this push a bit tricky if Enter the Frog ends up wanting to do anything with his Uber advantage. Looks like they're actually positioning in lobby to see what they can do. Soldiers are eating a bit of spam. TC Mana just now getting healed up. As Corp peeks into lobby, trying to get a bit of spam himself. He's going to be able to find Omar and actually manages to jump away before he gets exchanged. Or he actually created as he just spawns. That's pretty sad, but both soldiers down on the side of minus rep in exchange for Court's a pretty good deal, I'd say.
I mean, either way, yeah, Court definitely making, I guess, a certain heads up play there, getting a 2-for-1 trade. And if he had been able to kind of surf off one of those pallets there, he may have actually been able to live as well. But that is going to put RGL and Ice in control of lobby. And with them being at a 2-player advantage, although with the spawners just getting here for minus rep, they're going to have to try and make another play, get some more picks, in order to actually push out. Now, they do have this sentry gun on last, so they don't have to worry too badly about backcaps. And as I say, we do have Bofa Swag and TC in lobbies as well, coming in from lower lobby, dispatching these players. Looks like TC is going to try and go for something through dungeon. Okay, no, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like he's electing instead to peek right side. He tries to jump in, but he recognizes there's a soldier spamming as well as a heavy who is going to deny his bomb. How to make it a little bit tricky as he actually instead goes into through the right. He does have a gun to contend with, and the gun's going to juggle him with Ragu, also shooting him as heavy from that right side. Yeah, not much going to be able to be done. Not much to a single soldier is going to be able to get done on this last, but it was a valiant effort all the same. And we'll have to see if his team's going to try and get that gun down for him to make it work a little bit better.
Ultimately, he didn't actually get anything there, but it was a pretty neat little jump, and had that sentry gun not been there, I'm certain that medic Eru probably would have died. There wasn't really a whole lot protecting him there.
Yeah. The gun is actually in a very interesting spot right now, sitting right next to the door. I think it might be able to be spammed a little bit easily there, but he playing for trying to keep the spam off the gun. I don't know, this is a very interesting gun spot. Do you see TC Mono now sitting on the sniper?
I think the purpose
he's gonna
of
be
that
picking that left side.
is to just try and catch out players. Unfortunately, TC on the sniper is going to go down. But that gun is going to completely deny that kind of upper lobby there, because if they poke out through the doorway, that gun is in a position where knockback is just going to put them up into the corner and kind of pin them there.
Yeah, it's definitely a little rough. However, I think taking a couple players to spam it down would actually net both really good damage on the combo players playing next to it, as well as on the gun itself. So we're going to see what ends up being done by Minus Rep. We're sitting now at 3 minutes left in this half, as there looks like they're just going to be trying to spam the gun. They end up using in, the gun juggles them, the gun and gets taken down pretty fast. I think Ragu tried to move the gun and ends up dying. As now we're going to see the Uber gets popped off on the heavy, leaving the player Rose. Ender goes down in the post alongside Lechuga. Ragu, the only casualty on the side of RGL on ice, as they're now trying to catch up the soldier and TC Mono on the left side. Then Bofa managing to down the heavy of Rose, as it looks like we see players trying to commit, just seeing if they can get anything done for this last point. He's a player in dungeon, Omar, sitting to see if he can go for a back cap. He is caught up by Court, however, yeah. With a tick, he ended up looking at the wrong way, just at the wrong time. And that's going to be the back cap attempt, foiled by Court, as RGL has successfully pushed their own last and is now getting the cap. We see a bomb coming from the soldier, Yosemite surfing away, as TC Mono ends up going down for that. We see Bofa, however, getting behind and trading out the frag onto D squared, as Minus Rep is just now going forward and trying to get what they can done. It was down to Bofa in the same time, Court finding the exchange onto MTR, but with your medic down, that's going to make holding glass a bit rough. Ragu actually finds Lechuga
some nice meat shots.
Oh, crazy deflection from Omar though. Quick 2 rockets. Yeah, that's gonna be a rough. This is gonna be a rough hold. We see the health not looking great on the side of Minus Rep, as with the heals begin to come in from the frog, but it looks like they're gonna hold off in favor of getting their Uber ad. 30 left on the clock. We're if they make anything happen here. As it looks like Arush is getting his players healed. Ragu speaking on sniper, seeing if we can catch anything out, as Minus Rep begins to position themselves for the push. Looks like they used their on their demo. The demo begins to walk forward. D-Squared just doing what he can to juggle the Uber as then he jumps away. Not too much damage coming out just yet. A lot of damage on the heavy, just as I say that. Rose ends up going down. As we're about to see if any other frags are able to come out. Lechuga going for it across point, seeing if he can secure any kills. Yosemite, Ragu both going down, but a good bomb from D-Squared takes up both TC Mono and Lechuga, but that's going to be the cap coming through. Right after MTR takes down, I believe that was Aru.
Minus Rep played that really well. They were able to kind of isolate the point and not just throw themselves at it. And they came out on top there with very little time left. Right now we have only 30 seconds, so I guess we'll at the very least see who wins this next mid-fight.
Yeah, I think right now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be entering dead time. As it looks like RGL and Ice is playing inside their own chip, just kind of playing defensively and trying to spam Minus Rep as they come forward. Court manages to find a pick on the end of the frog. It's not going to matter too much, just entering dead time for this half. We see a bomb coming in from MTR, getting a lot of good damage. Manages to find Rose, and is getting really good damage onto Yosemite. And ends up being taken down by D-Squared. D-Squared finding both Lechuga and MTR right before the round ends. That'll look nice for the stats, I think. Yeah, pretty exciting first half, I want to say. Some interesting moments coming out here and there, but that's gonna be what we have there. What do you think, Dirtman?
Yeah, definitely both of these teams showing why they're here. Yosemite hitting some great pipes. Same with Court. I believe there were a couple air shots coming out from DC Mono and Omar, along with D Squared as well. Again, these players definitely showing that they are the best Newcomer has to offer right now. So far, if the rest of the game goes any way that this half has, to be taking this map, Minus Rep is finding themselves a little bit of. They can carry that. They should be able to clinch out this map.
Yeah, it's definitely it's exciting. I was really impressed by what I saw from Minus Rep in those last few minutes, especially that last push. They're able to get into last, isolate the heavy, and then just play heals in order to secure the frags they need. Good focus fire coming out from them in order to a couple picks, and then off of the fact that they just had more numbers, they were able to get what they needed done. We did see a good bomb from D-Squared in that last fight in order trying to save the round. He bombed in, but wasn't able to find too much. I think by then the fight was already lost. He did secure those 2 picks, but even still, I think he lost his own life for it. But not much you can do as a soldier at that point. Pulling up the logs. Let's see if there's any interesting stats. I think the biggest one is
MTR,
yeah,
having 270 DPM, definitely being a very key player for his team there, as Demo should be getting that damage. If we look at RGL and Ice, definitely the soldiers kind of carrying their team a little bit. I'm a little bit disappointed that Yosemite hasn't been doing more, but we might see that in the rest of this matchup.
Yeah, I will say keep in mind that there has been stalemates for a really long time, so it's entirely possible that the damages are lower than what we'd expect just off the fact that things have been rather slow for a good bit.
I mean, it is Sunshine.
Yeah. And like you said, the soldiers from RGL and Ice is doing a lot of work. Both of them top fragging the server. D-Squared with 24 kills and Court with 21. That's a lot. I'd say for soldiers to be going that positive is really impressive. Same thing can be said, I think. Like we do also see both up going pretty positive as well, 19 and 9. But like I said, for soldiers going this positive, I think D-Squared is like a 2 KD or something like that. It's pretty impressive. Very exciting to see that happen.
Especially with Court being on Roamer. I've known him to definitely be a very strong player mechanically, but sometimes making bombs that aren't necessarily the best for survival and sometimes don't even come out with hits, but he's still been doing very well so far in this map.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of really solid individual performances all around, and a lot of that comes from D-Squared Court, but the scouts on the side of Minus Rep especially as well. We can't discount MTR. We've seen Lechuga come in big a bunch of times, both of them are really clean. I think one thing we gotta tell you is the round that Minus Rep was able to win, a lot of that was off of the back of Bofa's med pick. When he came in and killed Aru in the midst of all that chaos that was happening on second, that opened up the doors entirely for Minus Rep to be able to push into last off of a full Uber advantage. Moving on to the medics, however, let's see if there's any interesting med stats. I'd say Lechuga getting pretty big tankage, 33% heals. That's definitely always what a scout loves to see, the big heals. On the side of Aru, however, interestingly enough, it's a favorite in the explosive classes, with Yosemite and D-Squared being the top healed players, but sitting at 26%. Yeah, any thoughts on the med play this half, man?
Not really. The only thing that's of any note is that possible misclick from Ender the Frog, but it ended up working out in their favor. So again, misclick, misplay, or big brain play, I guess we'll never know. But as we're getting on in the second half, we are currently sitting at 2-1 in favor of RGL and Ice. So Minus Rep is going to be hoping to find some momentum on this first mid. Yosemite taking an early sticky, getting very low. He is going to get some good damage onto MTR, though, who is going to get dispatched by Court, but he does then get traded out by Lechuga. A lot of just high ground control here from these soldiers. D-Square getting launched up into the air. He's going to go very low, but get a nice arrow from Aru. XB getting very low as well. Is going to be singled out by Dragu.
Yeah, as now it's even Uber's into the frog, trying to kite towards his own choke. Ends up getting caught up by the pipes from Yosemite. That's going to be a med pick coming out for RGL on ice. As the only players alive right now are Lechuga. Lechuga, however, getting a huge flank right now onto Aru. He ends up getting taken down just in time by Yosemite and Ragu. And that's going to be all she wrote for the mid. MTR going down early. That was a great fast rollout from Court, I think. He got the demo really quickly after hearing Yosemite's call on the damage, and as such was able to trade his own life for the demo. Always a favorable trade for a roamer. As now we again see RGL and I sitting at Fluberad as they begin to set up for their push into last. The cap comes up on second and they begin to make their way into lobby. They currently only have a heavy to contest with from both of. However, we have seen in the past it's been a little tricky. The Uber is hopped off. They managed to get their soldier in pretty deep. However, D-Squared is really hurt, and both Scouts and D-Squared all go down to Omar and MTR, meaning that this push isn't looking super great for RGL on ice. Aru trying to escape with his life, ends up getting out with Yosemite. Yosemite finding Omar as he attempts to chase. He's actually finding TC Mono as well. Yosemite kind of salvaging this fight, may give him a bit of room on second. As we see Court, trying to go for a back
this back half. Unfortunately, Lechuga is going to spawn out of spawn, although Court is still alive, so he could grab the health pack and come back for another attempt with the rest of his team.
Yeah, that was a really good replay by Court. He was able to, once he did go for the back cap, but unfortunately Minus Rep wasn't quite as forward as he may have hoped, and they were ready for that back cap attempt, so got him out, so they pushed him out, but he was able to jump away. Really good moves from him. Always love to see the rocket jumps. As now Aru is actually coming right back up on his own Uber. He's sitting at 97 right now. The ad is, we see the Uber come in from Minus Rep. They're trying to take it in. However, Aru has an Uber of his own, and Ragu's going to be able to take down MTR. Yeah, I don't think Minus Rep was expecting that, as we see RGL Nice beginning to push forward. The demo pick is going to be huge here, as they're going to be able to take whatever side they want, and then it looks like they want to take the left side. With the entirety of the combo coming in, we do see Rose going down as she gets stuffed on the right, and a lot of Captain with huge sticking coming out from Yosemite. The demo gets taken down as well. So good from RGL Nice. They baited the cap perfectly. Ragu doing so well there. While Ragu was getting that cap time off, gets all the stickies there, so by the time Minus Rep goes to jump on the point to stop it, it's all stickied up, and Yosemite can just simply click that right button and find all of those frags.
Definitely well played from him. A 3k there. Yosemite on 1 HP at the very start of this mid. He should be able to get cleaned up by some stray scattergun shots, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And with Rose getting it on to Ender the Frog, with both this fight going down as well. Now a lot of the players for RGL and Ice are low health, but with 1, 2, 3, and now 5 picks with Ender the Frog, or with the rest of the players dying as well, is going to be Omar XB left alive to kind of contend with Rose, who is now being supported by the rest of her team. And that is going to be a very decisive mid in favor of RGL on Ice.
Yeah, I will say, near the end of that fight, after they got into the Frog, we did see her getting kind of isolated from his team, and Valley from a bomb from TC Mono. Raru was fighting with TC Mono by himself for a bit, so good work from TC Mono in order to isolate the medic. Solid soldier play. Manages to actually salve the mid just enough to keep things even, as prevents RGL Nice from being able to take the super to last, as now they're just trying to build and see what they can come up on. We see both medics still sitting on stock, no crazy crits plays coming out just yet. Ender the Frog sitting at about 10% ad. I'm not too sure if either team knows this round to see if anything happens, but it looks like Minus Rep isn't really in a position to push off of that small Looper ad right now.
I mean, what I've kind of noticed following Newcomer since week 2 is, at least in this league, Uber ads as little as like 15 to even 20% don't really seem to be very actionable for these teams. Bofaswag is going to get a pick onto Rose. I believe that was in Valley early on, which could set them up to take this even Uber exchange, but doesn't look like they're going to want to. And with TC Mono going down as well, that's definitely not going to be a possible sack attempt. Bofaswag in Cafe right now with the rest of his team. They are looking like they are going to want to actually hold this second point. Not really seeing a whole lot come in yet. TC Mono is just going to getting back to his team very soon here. Maybe some sack attempts or something, but...
We see Court actually bombing in, as you said. He gets one really good rocket onto Ender, and that's going to be enough to force, as he was still just hovering right above Ender's head. As now it's going to be full Uber ad for Aru off of the back of Court. That was a solid bomb.
Play by him.
Yeah, he landed right on the medic and just directed him, and then just his mere presence after that was enough to get the force off. As we see the soldier high bombing and trying to get Aru, however, Aru's gonna end up forcing. They find Omar in response, but their health wasn't too good. They now have to contend with a couple things. First of all, there's a soldier behind them, and he's looking to rebomb as we speak. And there he goes, bombing the point. I don't think the scout heard him, as Rose is going to go down to him. He ends up fighting Ragu as well. That's both from RGL Nice. D-Squared's going to be bombing him, and it's the player's turn. D-Squared hitting a nice direct on him. It's going to go down, but in exchange for both scouts, that's a wonderful trade.
I mean, for him, they're really, I think, his big thing to do. They're just try to make a little bit of time and space for his team and allow them to kind of get regrouped in lobby here so they can hold it as they are now. But getting both scouts as well, that really, really hurts the combo of the enemy team. And with the Uber coming in here from Enter the Frog, MTR is going to get a good sticky kill onto Yosemite, and these players from RGL and Ice are just going to run for the hills right now as they don't yet have their Uber. Court going in for another bomb as well, gets one rocket. He is going to get Enter the Frog. D-Squared getting onto Bofaswag, and getting another pick onto MTR and Lechuga as well. These players are just falling like flies. But as I say, that arrow also falls as well to a nice bomb from TC Mono. But unfortunately, with only Omar being left alive and the spawners coming in from RGL on Ice, they're going to almost get that last bar free.
Yeah, I will say, while TC Mono did get a good, like, he heard the columns, he heard that Aru was only one health, and he bombed. However, I don't know if that was the right play just in that moment. Unfortunately, with the numbers at and the fact that they hadn't managed to recap second, it meant that RGL Nice only had to just walk to last. But then was again arrived to mid, sitting at about even health. I think MTR just now being a little bit health. However, we see somebody getting a bow as they begin to rotate. Good bomb, really fast rocket jump from TC Mono. Wow, that was crazy. He does like a speed shot or something right into the medic and manages to juggle him straight up and secures a pretty simple med pick. Super strong showing coming out off the bat from Minus Rep. Then we certainly do have Ragu sitting behind. He's really far behind in the enemy's valley. I don't think he's going to be able to do much. Rose is forward right now, just trying to relink with her team and start getting set up on last. Yeah, that was. I'm very impressed by that bomb from TC Mono. That was super clean.
Ragu is really behind, currently sitting in Red Valley, moving up through Cafe right now. Looks like they are probably going to be able to hopefully catch out a medic. But with this Uber coming in right now onto the point, they're probably going to be a little bit too late. He's just kind of sitting back there, not really sure what he's doing.
Yeah, look, he started trying to go for the back cap, but with just how fast that last point out caps, there wasn't going to be too much he could do, as we're now sitting at a 4-2 scoreline. We're again rolling out to mid. I don't think I can agree with that point from Ragu entirely, but it was a valiant effort, I think. Once you're behind, it's kind of hard to catch up, and he didn't want to fight on mid. Either way, Yosemite again arriving to mid with slightly less HP. Court ends up trading with TC Mono, soldier for soldier, as the entirety of both teams are now trying to meet yet again in that cafe corner. Ragu ends up going down rather early, and the demo on blue is very hurt. Yosemite only just needs a bow. We did see Lechuga actually sitting at 1 HP, goes down to Rose finally, as Rose is going for that wrap play. Yosemite goes down at the same time, however. D-Square trying to salvage with a lot of damage. He does have a lot to work with, however, I don't think he's going to be able to find much as he gets juggled up as he tries to bomb and gets taken down by Bofa. A lot of damage exchanged both ways, but on first kind of secured the mid for Minus Rep.
I think another thing I had kind of seen there from D-Squared and also a few other players, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head who they were, but possibly a little bit of poor advice. With D-Squared, he was up on that kind of Tetris tower, spamming down onto, I believe, a scout, a demo, and the medic. When the scout came out, he decided to start shooting at the scout instead of continuing to go for the medic. Maybe not the right choice there, but... Have a pause?
Yes, sir, we have a pause. Yeah, I'm not sure what the cause of the pause is quite yet. No one's said anything in chat just yet. Yeah, but right now what we're looking at is, well, yeah, it just looks like, well, not too much happening right now. It's just, Enter the Frog ready to take his... They only have the Heavy of Rose to contend with as is. Yeah, Ragu should be spawning shortly, so he'll be up for this fight, but we're going to see what RGL Nice is able to pull for this next hold.
I think as long as Minus Rep is able to focus down these key players, Semity and the Heavy of Rose, Uber ad, I don't think they're going to have an issue here taking this point. but it's a big if that they need to be able to focus down these key players. I know from experience, demos can have huge impact, saving the point last second with a few well-placed stickies, and heavies can just sponge up so much damage. So those
yeah, for sure. It really just depends on how fast. As the pause ends, the Uber comes in. They make somebody with the trap actually finds MTR right off the bat. Rose does go down, however, being down that demo is going to really hinder their last push. We see Aru getting heavily pressured with a lot of cap time coming off immediately. Lechuga gets cleaned up as well. They're still having to contend with that cap time, however. A soldier on point nearly caps off the point, and it looks like the red medic is the only player. Oh no, I think Ender went down. Yeah, it looks like it's only the blue demo right now. Or red demo rather. Yeah, that's going to be a push out on the side of... Oh, D-Squared was just sitting on point with like 20 health, and he ends up getting taken down by a quick sticky snipe from MTR. That's not going to change the fact that the cap is still going off, however, as we do see RGL and Ice beginning to make their way towards Cafe. Yeah, as no Ubers are up right now, we see Aru trying to play passive, but he's getting wrapped by a scout into lobby. There's not going to be a lot left to support him. Unfortunately, all of Minus was able to jump forward and pinch the blue medic. As there's not going to be too many players sitting on last to defend it, we see the cap coming off on side of... Yeah, Bofa and Rose were fighting on that second point there for a bit. No one left to be able to defend this point here, and that's going to make the scoreline 4-3. Still in favor of RGL. Nice, but making a pretty big comeback.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what happened there. All I know for a fact is on that last push just before the pause, the demo didn't ever actually die, living with very low health, and MTR getting an early pick onto Rose is going to set them up for success in this mid as long as they're able to hold it. Getting a little bit separated here, but they're able to control this high ground very well. MTR over towards blue Cafe side, fighting court now, and if they can sandwich these players in Cafe, that'll be really good for RGL on Ice, with TC and MTR going down as well. Ender the Frog going down to Regu, and with Omar down to D-Squared, and Bofasway getting cleaned up. That's going to be pretty much a full wipe coming from RGL on Ice.
Yeah, Core with some really big plays coming out on Cafe. He rolled out there and was able to trade up frag onto Lechuga pretty early on. I thought it was looking pretty rough for RGL and Ice when Rose got taken down by MTR very quickly. However, with that play from Court, I think he was able to get a ton of damage off and just survive in his Cafe long enough to secure his team the mid win. RGL and Ice now sitting yet again at a Farad as they gun to contend with. It looks like they're just going to try and peek fit, just set themselves up so they can push it. Hort manages to find the gun before the Uber comes in. That's going to be so good for them as it uses in and flashes his players. We see somebody bombing forward, and they're just going to try and pick off whatever players they can on this top right side. They're just only dealing with Omar right now. Rose going down as the soldier ends up bombing towards them. Ends up going down as well. That was TC Mono. Enter the Frog taken down by Cordes. He's able to get in. Pretty rough. Comes out on the side of Minus Rep. However, the players on the side of Minus Rep are so hurt right now, and they only have Rose to work with. It's going to make it pretty rough for this last fight, as I think that's going to be it for the side of Minus Rep. Yeah, they're going to be able to secure that hold. Yeah, the pyro at the very end there was able to...
Over there, the flames, the blast, completely, almost single-handedly saving that point. Also, I believe it was Bofasweg who was just barely able to stay alive on that right side there, coming in just at the very end of those last two players on the point to kind of help them, shuttle them off back into lobby.
I will say, however, Aru lived
so
under died.
It's
going to give them a second chance at this last push as they begin to use it yet again. A gun here, somebody getting juggled by the gun. They do manage to take it out as now they're just trying to sticky off that spawn point. We see a lot of damage coming in around the point. A lot of picks in the favor of Minus Rep, however. We see Omar finally being the first casualty on the side of, I believe that was a Minus Rep. TC Monaco seeing really great work from Minus Rep on these last pushes. Very well, just hiding everything in order to survive and maintain themselves on these last. We now have full Uber ad for Enter the Frog as his team makes their way onto second, just stickies up and defending their chokes. It looks like they're going to be getting the captain. They're now only sitting at about 20% ad. It's going to be interesting to see if Minus Rep elects to take this push into mid right now. Does have Uber as we speak. Minus Rep, however, coming in through. Okay, looks like they're just making their way in. They have not used yet, but the demo is pretty hurt as they make their way through. They end up popping the Uber, and the demo gets just in the nick of time. The Uber comes out for Aru as everything, players are now just getting traded out. Omar being the first casualty on the side of Minus Rep. Enter the Frog also going down. We see a bomb coming in from the Red Soldier. He manages to find, I believe, no, it looks like Aru was able to surf that rocket, but TC Mono manages to find him just at the last second. As we're entering the scrap again, Yosemite ends up deading on a scout to kill Bofa, but ends up killing himself as well, and it looks like Bofa and Lechuga are gonna be the winners of the mid. They end up cleaning everything up, and that's gonna be one fight for Minus Rep. I'm gonna say Lechuga and Bofa living so long in these fights is really giving them a lot to work with, as oftentimes it has led to them just being able to hold out and win the fight at the end. Rosend, I think, one of the other players, even been the one to spawn onto Pyro. They managed to take out the demo that was trying to spawn them by air blasting the seas and then mowing down the demo that was sitting at their spawn. That demo pick's gonna be huge, as it's gonna give them a nice bit of room to work with on second. End of the Frog sitting at 20% ad. Yeah, no crit plays still. Just gonna be another small move around for to see if Minus Rep wants to take this. Alright, I believe Dirtman lagged out, so it's just me for now that they are okay. Right now, as I said, just kind of stalemating. We do see the Uber walking in from Enter the Frog. They haven't popped yet. They popped very late, but Aru's all the way out. We actually see Rose, interestingly enough, manages to surf a Sticky out. Bofa manages to find Ragu, but he's trading out from a Sticky trap from Yosemite onto Lechuga, and that's going to be full Uber out for Aru. They're just now making their way onto that right side. It doesn't look like they're fully confident in pushing out just yet. They may just be waiting on that Ragu spawner, and then they'll start to push out. We do have a back cap threat from Omar, who is currently sitting in dungeon, as well as TC Mono, who's sitting on the lower left side. Lower right from the attacking perspective. We're gonna see RGL begin to... Actually, no, they're... Right now, I think they did the scoreline demon, and they're content with just waiting out the clock right now. There's 13 minutes left in the half. It doesn't look like they want to push out. Maybe they didn't feel like the Uber out was big enough. I'm not too sure, but either way, it looks like just going ahead to get their... They're just getting their gun up and setting up for this last hold. Yeah, either way, it's slowing down yet again. Oh, no off classes on the side of Minus Rep, as they've just now come up on their own Uber, and they're slowly going to start peeking and prodding lobby as the scouts begin to see what all is going on there. They're pretty slow to do it. I think they're just being a bit cautious right now. Don't want to overextend into something that they're not away from. As, oh no, Enter the Frog pops his Uber on accident yet again. I have to wonder, is he just playing with them at this point? Is he just confident that RGL won't know and is just building off his Uber stats? I have to wonder. There's no way RGL knew that, and at this point it's just kind of waste time. By the way, unfortunate from Enter the Frog.
His right click might also be a little bit light. I believe there are scripts you can do to make it so you have to right click twice. Some people don't like those because then they end up dropping Ubers because they're not to pop them fast enough, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. He just popped the Uber. Either way, RGL yet again had no way to know that the Uber came off from Enter the Frog, and they're not going to be able to push off of it, but I mean, yeah, that was just kind of a quick 40 seconds killed. 48 seconds about. And yeah, it's to be more time in dwelling away. Right now it is on Minus Rep's hands, as they are still down a round, with the scoreline currently being 4-3. What's happening right now? We're just
the game was going to stalemate anyway, so like you had said, could be just trying to pad his stats, but it looks like Lechuga's trying to get in, just very narrowly going to live, going now on to D-Squad. I believe he did manage to get an arrow from Enter the Frog, so it's looking like they're going to want to try and take this in now, but they don't have any sort of actionable advantage. Ubers are even, and so are players. No one's dead, and that sentry gun being up with Rose is going to prove very difficult for them.
Yeah, we actually see LeChuga running all the way in before getting taken out by the Sentry Gun Rose. He managed to run all the way behind point to Ryu, but once he made it there, he hadn't got enough damage off onto Ryu to drop him in time, and the gun's gonna take care of the rest. On the respawner, coming up soon. It looks like he's coming up Spy, the first Spy play we're seeing of the night. Exciting stuff. It'll be a while for him to get in position, so in the meantime, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on RGL to see what they elect to do with the counter sack. It looks like not much is going to happen. They're content with just holding last right now. It is also good to remember that while there are 10 minutes left in the half, there's only 6 minutes left on the round. Meaning that if nothing happens in the next 6 minutes, there will be a reset to mid. However, we do see LeChuga just now getting in position. He's just standing still next to the point, scoping things out, seeing what he can set up. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to make anything happen as he's hiding next to the enemy spawn. He sees Aru close and manages to start disguising. He's just now waiting for Aru to be.
With the way the RGL and Ice players are set up right now, it could be difficult for him to get a pick. Unfortunately, he is going to miss it.
He drops
it, but he does revolver down, getting the drop onto Arrow. LeChuga, unfortunately, though, does go down to D squared. So that's not really going to be able to go in there, but it looks like they are going to take this. As long as they're able to get this sentry gun down quickly, they should be able to take the round. Though D Squared and Ragu set up on the high ground here just behind them. They are now leaving it. Looks like Enter the Frog is going to get singled out by this scout. He is still going to live it onto the point. And these minus rep players... They're very, very low, but they will have the chance with 2 picks now being in their favor and a lot of cap time. Sitting from behind with a sticky. Enter the Frog is really separated right now, so Enter the Frog is probably going to die here either way.
Yeah, Enter the Frog being caught out on that low ground, unfortunately, is going to be taken down. Now Ragu and Rose are trying to keep pressure on that far right side. They're going to be able to keep their lives as Aru is currently sitting on 80%. We see, however, D Squared manages to take down DC Mono, and Yosemite finds a good sticky on the However, there is a back cap attempt now. However, Quartz on last, ready to defend it. However, it's a scout he's contending with. We do see Rose coming back, and Shie manages to clean up the LeChuga player. However, it's all exchanged for Aru's life as MTR manages to get some Aru and take him down. It's currently only Enter the Frog on the of minus reps, so there's not going to be any big ad, but either way we do see the Uber starting to be built, only going to be about 10% ad. MTR are still down, and RGL knows that. They're peeking, seeing if they can get any on the middle point, but not much is there. There's not much to be found. Looks like we're going to be stalemating on second yet again. However, I'm curious if minus rep may think they have Uber ad here.
I mean, they do have a little bit, but it's very little, only about 10%. So it's probably not going to amount to very much, unless one of these players comes in, one of the soldiers, matter of fact, comes in and tries to go for a sack and manages to either drop an Uber or force it. That would definitely favor the team.
Yeah, I think we have seen a couple of great rower plays coming out from both soldiers. I think, Court earlier with the good bomb managed to get the force on the end of the Frog, and many times we've seen both Omar and TC Monos doing some nice jumps to get in and land on Aru, even when he doesn't have Uber. We do see a great bomb coming in right now from Omar. He isn't able to find that last rocket onto Aru, however, and that's going to be all she wrote for Omar's bomb, as it looks like we see Court trying to find a way in onto the enemy second. He's just getting buffed right now, and it looks like he's just going to elect a bomb straight through choke. He bumps off the wall, gets piped, I think that was, by an MTR, and not going to be able to get much. The medic playing very far back near his own cafe. It's pretty hard to catch a medic out there, so going to be pretty rough for Court. And now, down one on the side of RGL, it's going to be the counter sack yet again from minus rep. You see the soldier of TC Mono landing right next to Aru. Gets a splash damage off of him, but not too much. Aru sitting comfortably, still above 100 health. Not much to fear for the blue medic, as we might see a counter set coming out from, yes, from D Squared. He jumps in, gets one rocket off onto the red medic, gets a second rocket off into him, but it isn't enough damage, and he gets taken down before he can get anything else off. Maybe we'll see another counter set coming in pretty quickly here. There's actually a lot of damage on both Core and Rose going down pretty low as MTR pushes the flank with the rest of his team. The Uber comes off from Enter the Frog, and it's going to be a better Uber for Aru as he ends up popping, but ends up dropping his demo in the process. It's traded out for Yosemite, but it's not that's not the trade you want. However, Rose ends up getting traded out for MTR. Court going down to the soldier behind, but managing to make Lechuga ends up getting. So now it's just a battle between D squared, Ragu, and Bova, but it looks like the players Ragu and D squared are going to be the victors in that end, as D squared begins to make his way to mid. He only has the demo of MTR to contend with, and at the fight it looks like he's going to be cautious when taking, and I think he remembers when he got sticky sniped earlier. He ends up bombing the soldier who was rolling out Cafe, and that's what ends up going down decently low. Both players in choke very low right now, sitting at about 30 and 28 HP respectively. MTR going down to 1 health again. I swear there's been so many times these players have gone down to 1 health, but just managed to barely squeeze out with their life. Either way, the aggression from Ragu manages to out both of his explosive classes and gives a free point. However, as I say that, Minus Rep manages to push back in and find Yosemite. I don't think he was quite ready for that, as we see them trying to kite around and do what they can, but the demo on MTR is really hurt, only sitting at 24 health. D squared goes down as well, Corp being down as well. There's no explosive classes on the side of RGL-Newcomer. They're doing everything they can to live. Ragu manages to kill TC Mono, but at the same time, Omar comes in with a huge flank. That's going to be huge picks for Minus Rep. They're going to be able to take Uber into last. In fact, if they go fast enough, they may even be able to push up of a 3-player ad with RGL-Newcomer's spawn sitting at just now coming up.
We have about 4 minutes left in this half. And if Minus Rep wants a chance here, wants to maybe go to Golden, need to take this now. But with the Uber coming in, Regu is going to go down, and if these players can get onto the rest of RGL on ice, specifically this heavy, although with Ender the Frog going down and TC Mono just being the last alive, maybe you can get a back cap, but with Rose being the heavy on the point, it's not looking likely.
Yeah, she even gets the bow from her medic of Arus, so if TC Mono goes for that back cap now, he has a fully healthy heavy to contend with. We do see Minus Rep. They know that the time is short, so they're trying to do everything they can to block the second point and see if they can go for anything. They find a lot of point picks, however. Both Bofa and Lechuga going down on the side of Minus Rep. We do see also Omar going down, MTR going down as well. Into the Fox, the only player left, and he gets taken out by a sticky from Yosemite. So he's getting a nice few picks there. And now that's full Uber ad on the side of RGL-Newcomer. I will say, in that last push we saw, it was pretty rough for Minus Rep. They weren't able to find we saw Ragu actually being the player to force him, and they found Ragu early, but as a result, they weren't able to find the heavy as quickly as they may have liked, and Rose was just able to make it to point and stand there and completely defend. As Aru and Toe are now making their way towards Valley, just setting up for some Uber push. Corp manages to find TC Mono and Cafe. A soldier bombs onto Aru, and he's gonna have to force off the Uber. Not much else is going to be found right now. Actually, Omar does find Ragu. I don't think Ragu got a flash in time, meaning that that's going to be a pick for him. And honestly, that's kind of nice for him. You get the force and you get a scout pick. That's nice. That's good. That's what you want to get.
Coming into last right now, RGL on ice is a player up, with Ragu just getting to the fight now. The last spawner going to come up for Minus Rep as well. It looks like we're going to be back into a bit of a stalemate on the second point in lobby. TCU and Mono and Court kind of do out a little bit though in lobby, trying to exchange some rockets. Maybe trying to get an opening. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get any damage onto each other at all. And they're just going to kind of back up and regroup. Here pretty soon here, he's going to have the money of either team. So TR being dead on the side of Minus Rep. Now with some of the players getting cleaned up for both teams, we have 3 picks in favor of both teams. With Ender the going down, it's looking a lot better for RGL on ice. Ragu is in a really good position for this back cap.
Yeah, actually, we saw that variety of Minus Rep to mid, but there was a back half coming in from the medic and soldier, or actually the medic and demo on the second point, and then Ragu was waiting on last, ready for any spawners that may have came up, and managed to instantly cap off the last point after the second cap went off, and that's the first map in favor of RGL on ice, the scoreline of 5-3. I think that was like a call, wasn't it, Dirtman? You used like 5-4, 5-3, I want to say.
I called 5-3 in favor of I called 5 in favor of Minus Rep, I believe.
That's true, that's true. I think we both called
them right, just not which team came up.
Yes, sir. I still think, I don't know, it was a good showing by everyone. I want to say I'm very impressed by the scouts on the side of minus rep. I think they've salvaged a lot of fights. Same with the soldiers. Omar and TC Mono seem to be able to come in last second pretty consistently and find that Aru pick. On the side of RGL and Ice, I think D Squared and Cord is just doing massive work so consistently. D Squared's hovering around his meta bed and is just constantly keeping Aru alive and well. And there's been a lot of crazy rockets he set to protect his medic, and there have been many times I think Aru has lived and just off the protection of D Squared alone. Aru also hitting a bunch of really nice serves as well. It's been good work from him. Ender the Frog similarly. Ender the Frog feels not the greatest right now. He says he misclicked twice to use Uber. Unfortunate, but hey, accidents happen. Nothing too much to worry about. Everyone's gonna make those mistakes. I'm sure I've made those mistakes before as a medic player myself. Yeah, mistakes happen.
Taking a quick look at logs, once again, the soldiers D-squared Hort for RGL and Ice kind of carrying their team, but Yosemite also stepping up to the plate a little bit with 233 DPM in this round. Again, for minus rep, MTR definitely being that kind of deciding player in fights, sitting at the top of the damage right now for his team.
Yeah, I think Yosemite really turned it around between the halves. I think he went from like going 8 and 9 with like low 200s DPM to 25 and 9 in the second half with 285 DPM, even out damaging what MTR had in the first half. Great showing from him, and I love how he turned that around. D Squared still playing really consistently in his own right. He was up there as well, nearly top fragging the server. Yeah, again, actually no, I think D Squared top frag the server. Yeah, in fact, it was D Squared, Yosemite, and Ragu all going in strong. By Bofa, as he Bofa doing a lot of work for his team as well, sitting at 19 and 13, followed by Lechuga at 17 and 16. Scott's kind of keeping it in there. Lechuga's spy play onto Aru, not something to forget as well. And yeah, looking at overall stats, however, MTR is sitting at the top of the scoreboard, but Yosemite bringing it back, not leaving too big of a gap between the demos. D Squared across both halves had 51 kills on Soldier.
Oh,
Even
wow.
51 and 25, man.
That is a lot of kills. He's definitely doing a very good job as Soldier. You really don't see that all that often.
That is so much work done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, these cards have been coming in huge.
Yeah. With Ender the Frog, even though he has had 2 misclicks for his Ubers, luckily for his team, they weren't detrimental at all, and he was able to kind of farm his Uber stats a little bit, so...
Let's just say it's intentional.
Or just say it's intentional.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually sitting at 2 Uber stars, 19. We love that. We love a nice Uber stat.
Luckily, the enemy team wasn't in a position to see, wait, they popped Uber. And they weren't able to capitalize on it, and they were able to efficiently enough to get back into that full Uber while the stalemate was going on anyway, so didn't really lose anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's no big deal. Just kind of an unfortunate accident. With that in mind, Dirtman, why don't you tell us about, I don't know, any more thought? I know we went over this in the pre-game, but tell us more about this clear-cut map we're coming on.
So I've definitely seen RGL and Ice play quite a bit of clear cut. I think it's probably one of their best maps, if not their best map. And in terms of official matches for minus rep, the only clear cut that I've seen they have played was in, I think it was week 3, where it was actually the map to be played. So I'm not really sure about how confident they're going to be, but they also didn't ban the map. So that says something as well. But Court, I think we're going to see a lot of crazy bombs from him. I think he's probably going to spend most of his time behind the enemy lines. Yosemite also being a very strong demo on this map is hopefully going to be able to not deny a lot of space for his team, and those scouts should be able to clean up on his damage and kind of take up the space he's creating fairly easily as well. Sounds good.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break as we get some players who are restarting their games. So we will be right back with some more Newcomer Grand Finals action.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are here once again with the Season 4, or RGL Season 4 Newcomer Grand Finals. We have RGL going up against Minus Rep map 2 of a possible 3-map series. By one map, I'm also joined by Virgil. Virgil, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, it's going. I'm doing good. I was still excited off of that first map. RGL nice come in with a nice 5-3 victory as we take it to clear cut. Both teams have just readied up, so we're gonna be seeing the big rollouts, the big bombs, everything you see when it comes to clear cut. This early in pregame, I think we both thought this map is probably gonna favor RGL and Ice's soldier availability, but I will say after seeing Omar and Tisa, I've been impressed with those players. Either way, we see both teams rolling out the mid. Both red soldiers are playing on top of their shack, just trying to get spam off. Spamming court, it looks like, as we see one soldier, I think that's TC Mono, going far behind. We're bombing around, trying to see what he can get done, as the entirety of RGL nice walk forward and takes point. The health on the side of Minus Rep is so bad right now. We finally see TC Mono come in from behind as he tries to get in shack. However, he's just getting met with scout spam galore, but the scouts weren't able to take him down fast enough, so he's going to be able to find that pick onto Yosemite with the Dragon Court also going down. Aru's going to just now be running for his life, trying to meet up with his scout as he begins to make his way out through main. First mid win for Minus Rep.
Honestly, definitely kind of unexpected there from me. I kind of expected RGL and Ice to kind of just come out and sort of dominate, but as you had said, Omar and TC definitely proving to be very competent soldiers. So they were able to take this first mid. MTR also doing some very good damage as well. It looks like we are going to be having a push coming out from RGL and Ice. The Uber coming out from our crew and being traded out with the Uber for with Ender the Frog. Court is going to be taking up position on that red roof here over the shack. Rose coming in from behind is going to get the onto Eru, or at least some damage, then gets cleaned up by TC Mono. Lechuga onto Yosemite, D-Squared taking out TC. And finally, Lechuga taking out Rose. And looks like that is going to be the recap from RGL and Ice.
Yeah, I will say, I think both Rose and TC Mono, I want to say, came in with big flank plays as Ubers ended. TC Mono bombed in from behind and secured the frag onto Aru, while Rose came in from behind and got the frag onto Ender, trading out both medics at about the same time. Ender spawned first because of the cap off for the blue team, meaning that they're going to be sitting on a bit of Uber ad. Both spawns are up and Omar bombs for it and manages to find the pick onto court. We see TC Mono bombing high in the air, just trying to get some distraction. He ends up eating a lot of damage, however, and gets taken down by Ragu. That's going to be the players being exchanged. MTR going low as well. Their entirety Minus Rep's going to have to pick up just a smidge as we see RGL and Ice coming forward, trying to block the point as much as they can. D-Squared finds that pick onto Omar, and Ragu's traded off. However, at the same time, D-Squared finds the pick onto Bofa, putting the player advantage in favor of RGL on Ice as they begin to recap the point. Time bank currently pretty even, I'd say. 2 minutes left on the time bank for Minus Rep, with about 2 minutes 15 seconds for RGL on Ice. Both Ubers are up, so we should be seeing an Uber exchange soon.
Yeah, very even. Kind of surprising to me. Right now, again, we have both teams with full Uber. Currently, RGL and Ice is in control of the point with about 2 minutes off the clock, although both teams have about the same time off the clock as well. We do have the push coming. We have a Medic Scout Uber, Scout Uber coming out from Lechuga. It is going to get the force onto Eru, but it's really not going to amount to much. They're not able to get any picks, and they're going to have to back out. D-Squared getting the pick on to Enter the Frog early on, who is then going to go down to Omar. But with TC coming in from behind, is he going to be able to get the pick onto Aram? No, it's not going to be him. It's going to be Omar, who comes in from unseen off screen. TC is going to go down. But with that fight, it's just going to be Yosemite kind of left alive, maybe trying to get some time and keep these players off the point as they haven't yet capped. They are doing the smart thing, though, and waiting for their players to respawn before they cap, as that does flip the cap time, or respawn times.
Yes,
Awareness
sir.
being shown there from Minus Rep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good call from them. I will say also great soldier work from Omar and TC Mono. TC Mono came in with a huge bomb from behind, managed to find Ragu super quickly. And then as he's trying to collapse on the medic, Omar comes in as well, meaning that Aru was dealing with 2 soldiers on him. We see a huge bomb coming in from the demo and soldiers on RGL Nice as they surf in straight into the red shack and they find Ender the Frog really quickly. Great bomb from them. That's going to secure them a huge Uber ad.
Yeah, a very good execution of a quad sack. In the semifinals, though, for RGL on Ice, we had seen Yosemite with some very heads-up sticky placement in that shack to kind of combat against the quad sacks. Doesn't seem like MTR was trying to do that at all, and we'll see how they end up defending against quad sacks in the future here. With Regu getting 2 big picks early on, they're probably not even going to have to use this Uber to retake this point. And again, they are going to be just kind of edge capping it and pushing these players of minus rep back, and they're not going to be able to fight back as they have the high ground here.
Yeah, the aggression from RGL on Ice without the fear of having to use their Uber was solid. I'd say that the bombs, like the quick pick onto TC Mono and then Omar getting caught out as well, did really secure the fact that they were able to kind of push in for free there. Now we're having to see the 4-man come in from minus are sitting safely in a shack, just dodging and just eating a bit of spam, but not enough to force him as he holds the Uber. Into the Frog is now at his Uber as well, but that was the 4-man sack coming up pretty quickly from minus rep. That RGL Nice did well defending their medic inside that shack there. We had scouts positioned up top that caught out the demo and soldier early on. The one soldier that was able to get through, Aru was able to juke him pretty efficiently, I'd say.
As I had mentioned, Yosemite, the very heads-up sticky plays there, I believe it was actually him that had gotten most of the frags for those early on in that quad sack attempt. The Uber coming out from minus rep is going to have the counterpop from Arrow as well, and it's going to set these minus rep players heading for the hills. And the Frog does get a little bit disconnected, but it doesn't look like Rose managed to notice, so Arrow is going to live and get out alive. Or Enter the Frog, sorry.
Coming in huge though. There was player at entire out of minus rep, but then D-Squared just killed both fragging classes, meaning he was able to secure that round win for his team in the last second. Crazy rockets from D-Squared, oh my goodness.
Down right to the wire though with only a minute left for minus rep on that cap time.
Yes, sir.
There goes Court way in behind, as we've seen so many times before. See, if he actually manages to get anything, he is going to go for a bomb. Yosemite does get the kill onto Omar. Unfortunately, Court isn't actually going to be able to get anything, but the damage is going to be cleaned up very well from Yosemite, getting MTR, Ender the Frog, both a swag, and D-Squared getting it on Lechuga, and that's going to be almost the full, or I believe it was the full wipe coming in from RGL on Ice.
Yeah, I will say, while Court wasn't able to necessarily get a ton of frags himself, he drew eyes long enough for his team to walk forward and just capitalize off of the space he made, which is honestly that's one of 2 things you can really ask for is from either your team works up the space you make or you're able to make work up the space they make. Either way, we see another 4-man sack coming in for Aru. However, Aru, instead of being in the shack this time, is just positioned back as he's just trying to juke, dodge spam, and dodge spam he does. 4 players into going down, 4 of them getting taken out rather quickly, and then TC Mono, the last player in, Aru just had to hit the 1 rocket surf, and that he did, meaning he's going to live another day. Into the Frog coming in on his own Uber very shortly, sitting at 80%. As they begin walking up, ready to take this next fight. A minute off the clock, we're the side of RGL and Ice as another Uber charge exchange is about to happen.
Aru definitely having full confidence in his team to keep them alive. He isn't scared at all with these Ubers whatsoever. Looks like Enter the Frog is going to get hit in the head with a rocket and forced to crater by D-Squared. That's really unfortunate because that's the drop. And with the Uber coming out from Aru, that's going to be really bad for minus rep as the rest of their players just get cleaned up.
Yeah, I will say that's probably one of the most frustrating things that can happen to a medic. You're sitting at 150 health or around 150 health, sitting pretty comfortably, but then you get hit in the head with a rocket. The rocket itself wouldn't kill you. You felt confident in that, but then you crater because momentum in this game works like that. Very sad stuff. We see the soldier from behind. I believe that's Omar actually coming in, lands on the demo, trying to get some damage out, and he gets a lot of damage spread out across all the people in the combo, but isn't able to secure a single pick on his own. TC Mono comes in late, manages to find the frag onto Yosemite as the scouts are just edging the point. They aren't going to continue off on the cap, however, as they both go down rather low themselves. The entirety of RGL's eyes coming for trying to clean off either of those picks as D-Squared bombs in right on top of the medic above both scouts, and he finds Enter the Frog going down yet again. Now it's just going to be a salvage mode coming out from Minus Rep as they begin to come forward, trying to see if they can find an opportunity to get onto our route, but they're getting pulled back by their own health being low. Big bomb coming in from TC Mono isn't able to get on Aru quite entirely as he's denied hard by the scouts. Aru now yet again on his own Uber ad, full players up. It's going to be another 4-man having to come up from Minus Rep.
We're definitely having some really good aim there. Earlier on, we saw a good direct on to one of the soldiers from the roof, or on the roof from D-Squared, and then, like you had said, able to get that med pick. Teams right now, it looks like RGL-Newcomer is kind of set up again. Yosemite with those well-placed stickies to kind of counter the possible 4-man sack. Court going down, Ragu going down as well to TC Mono, and it looks like this is going to be the cap coming out from Minus Rep, and it's very surprising considering the Uber disat, and they are going to get the drop onto Aru, taking out Rose and Ragu earlier on as well. And that's not just going to be the cap, but also a very possible a wipe coming out from Minus Rep. Not exactly sure what happened there with Aru dying, but either way, some good heads-up play from Minus Rep there to secure that capture.
I think once his players died, he recognized that if he did have to use there, it wasn't going to be a good Uber, and he wanted to try and get out with it, but unfortunately in doing so, he got a little, just a smidge greedy and ended up dropping the Uber. Unfortunate stuff, either way. We're going to probably be seeing RGL-Newcomer set up for a 4-man sack as we see players behind getting buffed. Looks like Ragu's ready to run back with his medic, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Both soldiers double bombing in. Huge rocket coming from Omar, I think that was. As the air shot denies, I think that was D-Squared entirely. We see both soldiers managing to get in the house, but Enter the Frog sitting comfortably, trusting his team just as Aru did before, and he doesn't get forced. That's going to be a nice super hold, and that's going to give them another chance off the clock, all the time which they need right now, as the entirety of RGL-Newcomer has respawned, and now they're making their way up to the front lines, getting ready for an Uber trade.
It kind of looked like MTR took a little bit of a page out of Yosemite's book there with those sticky placements to deny that 4-man sack, and a nice air shot onto TC Mono as D-Squared kind of bombs in. Definitely good aim from him. With one player being down for the side of RGL-Newcomer, he is going to get traded out though with MTR, possibly the more important pick. And with the Uber coming in from Aru first, that's going to be a much better Uber from Enter the Frog, but he's not going to use as most of his team is already dead, so he's just going to run for the hills and head back to spawn with that full Uber, hopefully to re-push here very quickly once the spawners come in, as they do have 10 seconds left to recapture.
Yeah, Yosemite going on late as well. Oh, but it looks like Enter the Frog uses super late. He's just trying to get his players in, so he uses super early, but by the time they land on point, they no longer have any Uber to work with, so they just get mulched and aren't able to get any cap time on point. So it was a super early use. I think that Enter the Frog thought he had to pop early in order to secure that his players got in, but unfortunately they weren't able to get the cap time that they needed, and that means that they aren't going to be able to convert the point, and that's going to be another round in favor of RGL-Newcomer, putting the scoreline at 2-0 at the half.
That's really unfortunate though, but again, it is fairly even, although cap time hasn't really been saying the same. Which is a little bit unfortunate to see, but we did kind of expect RGL-Newcomer to come into clear cut and kind of dominate.
Yeah, we actually see D-Squared top damaging the server with 374 DPM, followed by Yosemite with 330 and Court with 280. The entirety of the explosive classes on the side of RGL-Newcomer are absolutely going huge right now. The damage you're seeing is just so solid, it's so strong, and it's putting a lot of pressure, I think, consistently on Minus Rep.
Yeah, definitely. These players, but again, with D-Squared being on top in terms of DPM, that's nothing new. Both of the soldiers on RGL-Newcomer definitely doing their jobs extremely well. They've definitely been able to play off of each other very well as well. Court, maybe not always getting the med pick, but D-Squared is always there to come back and clean up the last of the damage and get that pick.
Yeah, I think that the soldiers on both teams are working really well together, but I think the difference between RGL-Newcomer and Minus Rep is how RGL-Newcomer is capitalizing off their soldiers is far more efficient than how Minus Rep is. we see the soldiers doing a lot of work for the side of minus rep, but I just don't think that the scouts and medic and demo are able to walk forward and utilize the space that's being made quite as well as that of RGL and ICE. It seems like somebody's always ready to get forward and assist the soldiers if need be. While we just don't have that same comparison on the side of minus rep. However, we have seen some good performances from everyone. Again, I think we've seen like some good heads up from Lechuga and Bofa, for example, getting the demo pick at the end of that round last time. If there was any Toba salvage, that was going to be your best shot, and securing that demo pick was a good play. And fortunately, not too much happened as both teams have readied up. We are going into the second half of the second map on Clearcut with a scoreline of 2-0 in favor of RGL on Ice.
Keep in mind that RGL on Ice only needs to win one more map in order to take the Grand Final series as well.
Yeah, so a lot on the line on these next rounds.
Once again, we see Court going in deep for a bomb. It looks like he is going to be getting on into Enter the Frog. One rocket, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. But Yosemite able to clean up on that damage with a nice sticky. I think Omar just got air shot while trying to get in. Ragu does clean him up as he hits the ground. Lechuga also going in to try and get Arrow, getting a ton of damage, but unfortunately not quite able to get it. Arrow living with 8 health. So close.
Yeah, he did get a lot of damage off on the Mediquit region, coming in clutch for Aru, and Aru just barely able to get by on the skin of his teeth. Great work for RGL and Ice, but definitely going to be hard to work with on the side of minus rep. As we actually see a sniper coming out from Bofa. He's currently sitting on that top right area, just trying to take pot shots at whatever he can, but it looks like RGL and Ice just simply isn't peeking the sightline. Doing the way Clearcut is positioned, you can kind of get away with just not peeking the sniper. It looks like minus rep is slowing down the game considerably. They're just waiting for their Uber and seeing if their sniper can do anything, as we do see Bofa finding a nice body shot onto Ragu. See a soldier getting pretty hard. Both soldiers actually are right next to their bushes and just kind of I don't even know. I don't think they can see each other, no. By the way, Into the Frog coming in on his own Uber as Court jumps forward, manages to get the force off onto the medic, as now we're going to see the counter Uber coming out. D-Squared gets headshot right before the Ubers happen and ends up getting dropped as a result of it. Good work from Bofa, and as Bofa gets a really good shot on the Rose, she loses her Uber for just a second, ends up getting taken down. Collapse coming in on from Aru as well. That's going to be all she wrote. Good work from Bofa there, getting some pretty crucial picks in the nick of time. Key headshots coming in just when he needed them. It's going to secure the point for the team of minus rep.
Something kind of interesting. I believe somebody is running the loose cannon right now, or at least he was. Not sure if he still has. Yeah, he still has it equipped.
Yeah, he doubled on the scout pretty early in on the fight there. Looks like we're seeing another 4-man coming out from the side of RGL on Ice. We see another air shot, huge air shot coming out from Omar as he actually doubled. I think that was D-Squared right as he tried to get in. And while there was a good bit of damage onto Enter the Frog because of the soldier denial so early on, no one's really going to be there to clean it up quite yet. And Enter the Frog going to be coming up on his own Uber shortly. However, Aru actually ends up having ad of his own. I think there might have been a mistrack in the Ubers there, but that's alright. They still have plenty of time to work with.
I mean, either way, that was a really good dispatch of that 4-man sack. Not losing anybody, but still managing to pick up the entire 4 players that went in for the sack. We do have some good damage from MTR coming in the combo of RGL and Ice, just from those stickies, trying to get some damage in over the point. Damage from the stickies is being exchanged. Enter the Frog uses the Uber, and the exchange happens as well with Eru popping his... looks like he is going to have the slightly better Uber, and these players from RGL and Ice trying to surround this combo and get in. Court coming in a little bit later, but Enter the Frog is going to stay alive for now. D-Squared at 1 HP is going to die in the red shed. TC is the last one alive, trying to get in onto that combo, but he's not going to be able to get anything, and that is still going to be the fight 1 for minus rep, with almost 2 minutes off of the clock right now.
Yeah, pretty long extended fight, but I think minus rep just has the damage in their favor and were able to secure the picks that they needed. As now we do see RGL coming back up as they begin to recontest the point again. Soldiers bombing, seeing what spam they can get. A lot of damage on the side of RGL on Ice, with all players on minus rep being rather hurt. MTR ends up going down to a sticky from Yosemite as Court bombs in and makes a ton of space for his team. And that space is being followed up wonderfully as Rose comes in, kills both Enter the Frog and Omar. Huge work from Rose right there. Still getting taken by Team Mono, but for the exchange of Omar and Enter the Frog, I would take that trade any day.
Like you had said, definitely some good play coming from RGL-Newcomer, being able to take the space that you're making. That's one thing that I've kind of found that newcomer teams tend to struggle with a little bit, is taking space, just whether it's given to you for free or whether you have players making it, but these teams definitely showing that this isn't an issue for them. It looks like we are going to be having a little bit of damage exchange here on this left side of the map between Ragu and TC. Both is going to come in, though, and clean up Ragu with a well-placed scattergun shot. And a nice rocket onto court is going to be cleaned up by a sticky from MTR, with TC getting a good bomb onto D-Square. The Uber's going to be coming out from Arrow, but it's just 2 players left alive, and that's going to be able to be surrounded very easily. And Arrow is hopefully going to die here, as Ender the Frog did die in the back lines there as well. They need to get this med pick, but unfortunately he is going to manage to get away with his life. And with the rest of his team coming in now to support him, they should be able to retake here. And with the spawners just coming in now for minus rep, looks like they're probably going to have to give up this point.
Yeah, however, Aru living there is going to give them a bit of Uberat as they begin to take the refight right now. Just keeping their players forward and healed up. We see a bomb coming in from court right now. He ends up getting a lot of damage, but getting the damage onto Bofa, we're going to see him going down. But he's being exchanged for both D-Squared and Rose. That's not the favorable pick for RGL-Newcomer, as Aru is just now trying to escape with his life. He's just going to be meeting up with his teammate behind that house area. As that's going to be the retake for minus rep with only 30 seconds on the clock for both teams. This is a really close fight.
Some good pipes there from Yosemite, cleaning up both of the soldiers for minus rep. They're going to be re-pushing this with an Uber to try and recap, as again, we have about 20 seconds left on the clock for both teams. This Uber is going in really deep, though. And if Opuswake doesn't die, he does crater, though, and they are able to get out and not overextend too much. Ender the Frog does have about 90% Uber, so we're going to be having another re-push come in from minus rep, and they're probably going to be able to take the point as well if they're able to go quickly enough. 10 seconds left on the clock for RGL-Newcomer. These players need to die, and just as the Uber's coming in, hopefully the rest of minus rep is able to follow up on this space and damage that the Uber is making, but it doesn't seem like any of them are there.
Yeah, it looks like both the soldiers actually went down while the Uber was happening. We did see one pick come out from onto Rose, but RGL-Newcomer is just doing a really good job of kiting the Uber and cleaning up damage. And with no point cap coming out from the side of minus rep, that's going to be another round in favor of RGL on ice, making the scoreline currently 3-0 as we come into this last half, this last round potentially. Currently staying at match point, and our minus rep is going to have to put in a lot of work to make sure that they can secure this round. You can see both soldiers sitting on top of the shack, just spamming right now. They end up having to drop down as the damage right now is currently in favor of RGL-Newcomer. Into the Frog eating a huge pipe. Omar going down to 1 health, but he's able to be finished off as TC Mono bombs in and finds Yosemite. At the same time, Court bombed in, trying to find whatever work he can, but because his team was dealing with a soldier bombing them, this team just wasn't able to walk forward and capitalize in the way that they have been doing so well previously. And that's going to be capture for minus rep, as both medics are currently coming in on their Uber charges.
Yeah, Court doing the thing he does best and going in deep immediately on those mids. Unfortunately, due to a little bit of the map terrain and a wall and a few misplaced rockets, he wasn't able to get the pick, only bringing Ender the Frog down to about half HP. But a drop coming in from TC Mono onto Arrow as their medic gets forced as well. That's going to be really, really good for them and not so good for RGL on ice. And with 3 players dead on the side of RGL on ice, it looks like minus rep is going to be able to hold this point for the time being. Rose trying to get in onto the medic at the very end there. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to find anything as he's has the entirety of minus rep standing between him and his goal, being a few well-placed shots into the body of the medic.
Yeah, Rose doing the best she could there. I think she was caught behind, but not able to secure what she needed. Unfortunate, but that's alright. Either way, RGL-Newcomer knows it's not going to be full Uber out for the side of minus rep, so they're going to take the dry fight before the Ubers come up. Yosemite going down rather early, however. That's going to be rough. However, Rose manages to find the trade onto TC Mono, as there's now a heavy in play on from Omar. We see them trying to bomb the medic as much as they can, but with that heavy there, it's going to be so hard to get that work done. This is going to make the exchange coming out for any exchange that comes in later a little bit tricky, as that heavy is going to probably be doing a lot of work for his team, as RGL-Newcomer has yet to cap a point on this round. Nearly 2 minutes actually off the clock in favor of minus rep as well. That time bank is going to be huge to work with, especially now with the heavy is going to slow down the fight. This is going to be rough for RGL Nice. We have to see how they want to take this. As they begin to walk their heels in through that left side yet again. We're getting in pretty deep without taking much spam. I will say, not having a soldier to take that damage is going to be hurtful. As we see a lot of damage coming off of the heavy, they managed to not get the flash on the heavy in time. That's going to be the heavy down, and Bofa going down as well is going to be a 2-player out on side of RGL. Court goes down late in the fight, but the health isn't looking good. Rose currently only sitting at 21 and Ragu at 50 himself. There's going to be a couple of frags just not coming in with Rose and D-Squared like both going down, as it's now a 3v3. Demo and Scout on both sides are the only players left alive. However, the spawners will be coming in shortly as the cap is just about to go off, and they managed to secure the cap just in the nick of time. And now they're going to be giving up a lot of space as the spawners got to there from minus rep just a bit faster than they did for RGL and Ice. One soldier bombing, and he's getting taken down by a sticky trap on top of the shack by Yosemite, and the cap coming out yet again. However, they're going to be delaying the spawn of Omar, so RGL and Ice should be able to recap this rather quickly.
Having that heavy there, I think it definitely was the right call, but they dropped him in the Uber exchange. Right now, we do have a lot of people dying. Rose does go dead. A lot of the players for minus rep are hurt as well, but with 2 picks in favor of them, they are going to be able to re-push this and cap the point. Any Uber exchange that they take right now will be totally in their favor, but with TC Mono getting a big bomb onto Aaron, he is going to die to Bofa Swag after that bomb. A good cleanup from him. Regu is maybe going to be able to get onto Ender the Frog. Doesn't look like they've spotted him. He's just going to sit here in this shack, and he is going to go in for an attempt, but hopefully he is going to get dispatched by Lechuga.
Yeah, I will
very
say,
well played there from
Iru got bombed, I think, by one of the soldiers on minus rep, and they got a lot of damage off him, and I think Iru just really wanted to hold that Uber and ends up dropping as a result. Pretty unfortunate for him. D-Square comes in with a really early opening pick onto Omar. We're also finding a lot of damage onto the soldier of TC Mono. TC Mono's not going to get a bow quite yet, as he just now does. He bombs in, trying to see what he can make happen. He manages to find the pick onto D-Square before getting taken out by D-Square himself. Both soldiers trading out there, as that was just Ragu versus the world. He has 2 scouts to contend with. Now Aru's the only player left for his team. Gets once off, but that's not going to be enough. And that's going to be all she wrote, I believe. Still a bit of cap time left before the round happens. But that cap time is dwindling very quickly, and I don't know if Court's going to be able to get to the point just in time as the Uber is popped off by End of the Frog, and that's going to be around in favor of minus rep. Yeah, they did a really good job holding the point once they had it. They kept it super defensively and were able to just eat away at the clock pretty consistently. And then once RGL Nice got it, they just weren't able to do much.
I think that's the most decisive round we've had so far in this map, which is kind of surprising considering it came out from minus rep. Again, we do have Court going in for a big bomb, but it looks like these players are aware of his shenanigans now, so hopefully it won't be able to come to anything. Yosemite getting a good pick onto Bofa. TC is going to go down as well, but Court does get in. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, and it's not going to be enough for him, but Ender the Frog is going to get picked up by a pill from Yosemite. So again, maybe not Court getting the med pick himself, but he gets the damage, and then his team is there to clean up for him.
Yeah, I will say at the same time, we did see Lechuga manage to get behind in all the chaos and finds the pick onto Aru, meaning it's not going to be that full Uber ad. Or however, we do see Ragu behind. He was hiding in the corner, and with only 13 health, he managed just to get the pick onto Ender the Frog. As now we do see Ragu going for it, trying to get the sniper pick. The sniper sitting at only 18 health. He's not going to get cleaned up, however. That med pick was absolutely massive. We see Quark bombing in deep behind as well. He's going to be looking for the sniper as well as seeing whatever he can get done. TC Mono in the back line, however, manages to find Aru himself, meaning both medics have gone down, resetting the Ubers entirely. Both soldiers are trying to bomb in and see what they can get done for RGL Nice, but they just aren't going to get as much as they may have liked. We do see actually Court still sitting in. He managed to land on the medic. 2 clean rockets gets him down. MTR sitting very low himself. That's going to buy even more time on the point for RGL Nice, even with no one there. We see Rose sitting forward. D-Square just trying to bomb away with his life, knowing he can't fight this without his team quite yet. Rose may be caught out, however. She ran into Shaq, and it looks like she's going to be living as well. That pick on Ender the Frog yet again, even with both meds dying so quickly there, is going to give Aru just a bit of Uber that they can work off of, but every little bit matters here, as we do see a full minute off the clock in favor of RGL on Nice as they begin to set up for their repush.
Rather surprisingly, it doesn't seem like we're going to have any sort of quad side coming in from minus rep right now, as they are in control of the point. Which is a little bit odd considering the current Uber ad / disadvantage situation. Again, Core coming in for another bomb. He is going to get spotted by a Bofa. A couple of scattergun shots is going to stop him from getting any momentum. Another bomb coming in from TC as Court goes in for the medic. One rocket onto him, unfortunately, is going to get cleaned up by Bofaswag as the Uber does get used from Aru as well.
Yeah, and with so much damage coming on, they do have the heavy again to contend with, but I will say heavy even pushing into quick cut, I don't think that'll work as effectively as the defensive heavy. As right now, all they have to do is obviously spam the heavy, but they're giving the heavy a lot of room. As actually we see, yet again, Ragu gets behind. He gets a couple really good shots onto Ender, and Ender's gonna force off there, getting taken down very low. Ragu's still alive in the back line. He's just going crazy back there. There's no pack for him quite yet, but Rose runs in, just takes down the heavy super fast as well. This is looking super great from RGL-Nice, especially with Ragu still in the back line. This may be a bit rough for Aru, as Ragu's just not taking a fight. Nah, he's not going to be able to find anything. Rose coming back up pretty soon though. However, it's going to be looking pretty alright for RGL-Nice. Their medic sitting on about a 50% Uber ad. Very exciting to see what they're going to make work with. They still have that heavy, as Omar actually came up heavy yet again. He's currently rolling out with his gloves of running urgently. Only going to be about 200 by the time he arrives to the fight. That may actually put a hindrance on that heavy play, with the heavy being so low by the time he arrives. Aru gets in super deep before having to use, and now it's going to be a couple of frags coming out. We see a lot of damage on the end of the frog as he finally gets taken out by Ragu. Ragu getting traded out in the meantime, and the heavy's not going down quite yet, but with no heals, the heavy's not going to be as useful as he may like to be. A lot of damage on the side of RGL-Nice, but they just have to play around their medic to heal up with a huge surf from Aru to escape from the bomb from CTC Mana. T-Square taking him down, but getting exchanged out by the Scout and Lechuga. It's going to be the entirety of Minus Rep getting forward. A lot of damage on them. They're all rather hurt. NPR sitting only at 70. Lechuga now just going down. Omar only at 80 as he finally gets taken down by the pipes from Yosemite. That's going to be the point cap coming out just now for RGL-Nice. That slow fight was exactly what they needed. As soon as they got the med pick, they recognized that the players just had to be chipped away at, so they kited back to their medic, protected him, and got healed up. They played that just about as textbook as they could. However, in the meantime, I think Court may have been in a cheeky little hiding spot, or maybe he just bombed him behind. He meets up with the entirety of the red team and ends up getting taken down. Aru coming in on his Uber. We should expect for a 4-man to come in.
To talk about that heavy play a little bit, personally, I like the heavy play. I think he can definitely work on Koth, especially when you're defending the point. But with how soldier-dominated Clear Cut is, I understand your scouts are super important as well. But subbing off one of your soldiers, that huge damage and area denial potential for a heavy, I don't know if that's really the right call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would love to see the scout maybe if they really wanted to work with that heavy, but either way, Uber's exchange are coming in as the Uber comes out so much later for Aru. He just has to flash his players to keep them up, and that he does. They end up managing to find Bofa as well, as a big bomb coming in from Court. He gets a lot of damage off onto End of the Frog, and he manages to secure the frag, however, in exchange for 3 of his teammates. It's now a 3v3. A lot of damage on the side of Minus Rep. Ragu doing everything he can to take down these players. It's now just D-Squared and Aru versus the Scout. Scout's doing everything he can, but rockets from D-Squared just doing so much, as Aru's actually going in himself, trying to get some damage out. As the second scout comes in, Aru's now just trying to kite back. He's leaving his soldier out to dry, but understandably so, as he just wants to live himself. The point plot comes out for Minus Rep, but Aru is sitting at 70% Uber odds. That Uber saw he got is looking pretty big right now. We do see TC Mono trying to get in behind, as it looks like he's going to go for a play. However, the entirety of RGL-Nice is ready for that play. Aru kiting forward, does take a bit of damage, but he's going to live. Just has to avoid a bit of spam, as the Uber should be coming in rather shortly. He gets a pipe, but it doesn't matter. The Uber pop comes in, as the Yosemite bombs forward, manages to find Ender the Frog. This is looking pretty rough for Minus Rep. They find MTR as well. Court's the only casualty on the side of RGL-Nice, and they're going to be capping the point here. It's all up to the single scout to save it. Bofaswag is trying to do everything he can, but it isn't enough, and that's the match. RGL-Nice are our Season 4 Newcomer Grand Finalist winners, taking home that first place prize.
I mean,
what an exciting end.
Definitely. Both teams, though, definitely putting up a great fight. Obviously, RGL-Nice, in the end, coming out on top, showing that they are the better team. But for Minus Rep, they should not be hanging their head at all. They should be lifting it up high, because they still made it a good long way. And a newcomer coming this far and learning so much, that's a win in and of itself.
Yes, sir. I'm so impressed by both teams. Obviously, I'm so excited for my boys to be taking home the gold here, but Minus Rep put up a crazy good showing. I was so consistently impressed by their scouts, soldiers, their demo. Everyone on their team I was so impressed by. It was definitely not the easiest victory. It wasn't an easy win, but RGL-Nice managing to pull it off in the end, off of the backs of all of their players. We saw everyone coming in with some huge plays. Great work from Aru at times, some good movement to keep himself alive, great serves. you saw him get a good saw at the very end there to give them the biggest uber out they possibly could, and then he lived off of it as well. Yosemite with some crazy pipes, crazy damage consistently throughout the entirety of these matches. Rose and Ragu both going huge with plays of their own to find the medic at these really crazy off times, and then the consistent soldier pressure from D Squared and Court to take it home. All around, great showing from everyone, and I'm super impressed by everything we saw here. Crazy improvement from these newcomers this season. With that, let's take a gander at the logs, see what they say about this.
Talking about logs, obviously, so typically your demo is the one dealing the damage, and then you have your soldiers or scouts coming in later to clean up on it. Yosemite sitting with 6 medic picks, the most out of anybody else in this game, definitely showing that those pills or stickies cleaning up on the medic, showing that he can do the cleanup too.
Yes, sir. Yosemite with some crazy DM work throughout this match. I think Yosemite felt really comfortable and clear cut throughout the whole time and just knew what he needed to do to lock out Enter the Frog multiple times and did just that, securing a lot of medic picks in the process.
I mean, sitting at 327 DPM with 29 frags, top frag, no, not quite top fragging, only just being beaten out by D Squared with 31, but definitely Yosemite with some very heads-up plays, especially with those stickies to kind of deny quad sacks.
A nice fun stat I want to point out is that D Squared had 13 air shots on clear cut. That's a lot of air shots. And crazy DM work. I gotta say, D Squared is probably one of the players that impressed me the most. He was just hitting so many shots that he needed to hit, and so consistently. He was just tearing it up, man. It was crazy impressive work.
I mean, yeah, either way, both of these teams should be very proud of themselves coming this far. Both, I mean, just making it to the Newcomer Grand Finals is an accomplishment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very impressive work. I'm very proud of both of these teams. Very excited to see what they can continue to do as they move on to amateur, IM, whatever it may be next season. With that, do we have anything left we want to talk about? Any closing thoughts?
Specifically about the match, not a whole lot, other than, I mean, we kind of expected RGL and Ice to win, but I was definitely impressed with the fight that Minus Rep had put up. And what I had talked about earlier before the match, where I'd seen in the semifinals with them struggling a little bit on last pushes, I didn't really see any of that at all. They seemed fairly confident on their last pushes and were able to get the picks and the damage they need in order to actually get the cap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams were able to convert stuff when they needed to, and just overall did a really great job. With that, yeah, final thoughts, any shoutouts? Dirtman 107.
I kind of have just a couple. Probably one of the most important is a shout out goes to all of the leaders of the newcomer teams that have actually allowed me to cast their matches over on my own Twitch channel. First, about midway through the season, I was actually able to make it to affiliate, but then most importantly, with I believe a good word put in from TC Mono, I'm here with TFTV now, so then also just a shout out to my own audience kind of getting me here as well. I definitely appreciate it, and I wouldn't be here without you guys.
Yes, sir. It's great to have you here, Dirtman. Been a fun time casting with you tonight. I think I gotta give the big shout out to Lou for getting everything organized, getting the stream going, and keeping everything alive. I know we've had some problems with Mumble tonight, but I think all in all, we had a fun time, had a good time.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I look forward to next season.
Yeah, I do also want to give some quick shout-outs. Big shout-outs to Yosh, Smiles, and Walrix. They helped me with the whole mentoring thing of RGL Nice, and I'm very happy to see the boys pull it through for a big win. Shout out to... I gotta shout out Witness. I just feel like that's required. He paid for my season this season, so shout out to Witness. Shout out to Peppermint. I love Peppermint. Yeah, I think that's about it. With that, I think we are going to be signing off. This was your RGL Newcomer Grand Finals for Season 4, won by RGL on Ice, second place, Minus Rep. Great work from both teams, and we enjoyed casting. See you guys.